Hello class, welcome to chapter 6. We are going to be looking at proportions, ratios, and some similar figures. Today's lesson is going to focus on ratios, which is section 6.1. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities or numbers using division. So we're looking at how we can compare two numbers, and the way we're doing it is with division. There are three common ways you will see ratios written. The most common way is in fraction form. So 2 out of 3, saying I have 2 out of every 3 pieces. The second way you will see it written is with a colon. Again, comparing 2 out of the possible 3. The last way you'll see it written is 2 to 3 or 2 out of 3, written out in a actual format with words. All three of these different methods are expressing the same quantity, saying that it is 2 out of the possible 3 total. First thing we're going to look at is simplifying ratios. This is the same thing as simplifying fractions. You want to make sure that the numerator and the denominator, or if it's written in the other two formats, the left and the right number, cannot possibly be divided by the same number. So the first one we're looking at is 12 out of 18. We can divide both of those by 6, giving us an answer of 2 out of 3. The next one, if I look at, I've got 49 compared to 56. I can divide both of those by 7, and that gives me a ratio of 7 out of the possible 8. The last one, I can divide both of those by 11. When I do that, I get an answer of 6 to 8. I can continue to reduce that one by dividing both of those by 2, giving me a final answer of 3 to 4. So making sure that you are reducing those quantities as far down as possible. Same thing as when you simplify fractions. Pause the video for a minute and go ahead and try these 3 problems on your own. First one's a little bit tricky. 17, yes, is a prime number, but remember that a prime number means that it can be divided by 1 and itself. It so happens that 34 can also be divided by 17, so we end up with a final answer of 1/2 as our ratio. Looking at the second one, I can divide both of these by 9, and I get an answer of 9 compared to 12. Again, that's not fully reduced because we can divide both of those by 3, and we end up with a ratio of 3 to 4. That's not the only way to go about the problem. You could have started by dividing by 3, divided by 3 again, and then divided by 3 again. There's multiple ways to reach the same answer. For our last one, we can divide both of them by 2, and we get an answer of 48 to 50. Again, I could divide by 2, and I end up with a final answer of 24 to 25. Again, there are multiple methods for getting there as long as you get to that ultimate final answer of 24 to 25. So the first part of your homework is just going to be looking at simplifying ratios. Next thing we want to do is look at this in terms of word problems, because everybody loves a good word. Problems. Word. Problems. Hope you all enjoyed that. So 15 out of 20 campsites at a playground are reserved for campers with pets. We want to express this ratio as a fraction in simplest form. So it's asking us to write it in fraction format. So we've got 15 out of 100. When you are converting from a word problem to an actual numerical value, this first number is always going to be in your numerator, and your second number is going to become the denominator of your ratio. Then it asks us to simplify this. Both of these can be divided by 5, so we end up with 3 out of 20. Go ahead, pause the video and try this one on your own. Hit play to check your answer. starting with 10 out of every 30. Both of those can be divided by 10, giving us a final answer of 1/3. So it's the same kind of idea, we just have to pick the information out of the word problem setting that they are giving it to us. The last part is comparing ratios in simplest form. It wants us to compare 8 ounces with 3 pounds. If we are looking at this, we want to make sure that we are converting into equivalent units when we can. So, we know that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. If you didn't know that, you just learned a new fun fact. If you don't believe me, you can use Google to verify that. So we've got 8 ounces to 3 pounds. I want to make sure that our labels are the same so that we're comparing the two same types of quantities. So I'm going to change my 3 pounds into ounces. So for 1 pound, I've got 16 ounces, which means in 2 pounds, I've got 32 ounces because I have 16 ounces twice. And in 3 pounds, I have 48 ounces. So my 3 pounds is going to get replaced with 48 ounces. So now I'm comparing 8 ounces to 48 ounces. So we're comparing two things with the same unit. Now I'm just going to go through and do my process of reducing. Both of those can be divided by 8. So I end up with 1 ounce to 6 ounces. Same kind of idea here. You want to compare inches to feet. You should be aware that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. I want you to go ahead and try this one on your own, pausing the video, hitting play when you are ready to check your answer. So we're converting our 1 foot into 12 inches, which means I'm comparing 15, I don't know what my marker just did there, 15 inches to 12 inches instead of to 1 foot. I'm going to divide both of those by 3, and I get a ratio of 5 inches to 4 inches. Just a couple other conversions for your reference. We listed the first two already. A reminder that 1 yard is 3 feet and 1 gallon is 4 quarts. That will be helpful for you on your homework for problems 18 and 20. Your homework is on page 267 and 268. You are looking at problems 10 through 32 evens. Go ahead and get started working on that.